What's going on, gang of Lang? Carolina Jackpot coming at you Sunday afternoon, April 18th here in the Carolina Castle. I'm going to do something a little bit different I've never really done before. I'm going to call this little series of videos that I'm going to do the Retro Revisit. Quite frankly, college football, I miss it. We can talk recruiting. We can talk this and that. We can talk 2020 projections. But the fact there was no spring practice, I mean, even if this year's schedule is a full 12 games, we really are kind of just walking, like it's like we're blind and trying to feel our way through as far as making predictions, because that really, really gives you a good barometer of what's going on, who showed out in spring practice, who did this, who did that. Right now, all we have to go on is, well, he did pretty well through 3 spring practices. I mean, and then all the shit was canceled. So we don't have a lot to go on, but we can go back and look at some old games, look at things that happened and what we may be able to improve on, what we laughed about, what we cried about, what made us mad, what made us glad, what needs to be worked on, and what was something that we can build on. I'm going to go back today and look at the game from Week 11, 2019. The App State Mountaineers came to Columbia and Williams-Brice Stadium. They came a-calling, if you'll remember. I did a video that week. It was entitled Gamecocks versus Tree Huggers. And you don't stand a damn chance, you damn hillbilly-ass, hippie, tree-hugging, you know what, some bitches, you've been going 10, 12, and 0 against a damn schedule that, well, that didn't work out so well on this evening. We're going to go back and revisit that real quick. What I want you to do, if you're not already, and you probably aren't, subscribe to the Victors Valiant channel on YouTube. Victors Valiant. They do a really good job of condensing these 2.5, 3-hour games into 10, 12 minutes, and that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to rewatch the Victors Valiant episode on the App State versus South Carolina game, which was about 10 minutes long, and they get all the high points in there, so it's a really good channel. I like to go back and watch this one, especially during the summer when I'm making my expert picks and predictions for 2000 whatever, over and unders on the win totals. This one helps me out a lot. I can watch a whole game pretty much within the context of just a few minutes. It doesn't take that long. And I'm going to put a link down in the description box below to Victors Valiant, and if you choose to do so, you can go over there and sub them. It's not like I know these folks, so they hadn't asked me to sub them. I just happen to like the channel. I think it's really good. As usual, this video on South Carolina Gamecocks football is brought to you by Miller Lite and Disappointment. So if you want to have a little bit of time, go on ahead and pull that up on your YouTube. Turn the sound down on it. It helps out a little bit, or you might want to keep it up. I really don't care what you choose to do, but you can watch along with me. And the Gamecocks came into this game with a record of 4 wins and 5 losses. If I'm not mistaken, they had come off of a win against Vanderbilt. It was either the week before or they had an off week. They had beaten Vanderbilt after dropping an abysmal game on the road to Tennessee, game which I had no business losing. They lost 41-20. Congrats to Tennessee on that one. They rode a punt return for a touchdown, which can really flip the momentum in a ball game one way or the other. They rode it to several scores in the second half. Their second half defense shut us down. I was watching some Tennessee footage earlier. I was watching them play Kentucky the same week on the same channel. I had a little synopsis of that game. Their defense was really stout in the second half of a lot of games last year, especially in the second half of the season when they beat teams such as Vanderbilt, such as the Gamecocks, such as Kentucky, such as Indiana in the Gator Bowl. They shut teams out in the second half, and that's where they were able to pick up these wins. So Tennessee definitely has something to build on. They're a team on the rise that everybody should kind of be wary of. As, it's no longer a laughingstock. They're no longer the Butch Jones debacle. Jeremy Pruitt he's doing some things, But we'll see if that pans out. Anyway, I went down enough rabbit holes. Let's get to it. South Carolina versus App State, Week 11. Let's hit the play button. And here we go. See the Gamecocks with possession here at the beginning of the game. They kicked off. We have it. Rico Dowdle ran forward for a first down. Rico played pretty well for us last year. Helinski drops back, he fires, hits Brian Edwards across midfield. We're down to App State's 45 here. No score still in the ball game. It's pretty fast-paced action. He hands the ball off again to that was Deshaun Fenwick there on the carry. South Carolina's inside App State's 30. Kevin Harris goes for it. They go for it on fourth down, and he does not get it. App State with the mustard yellow helmets, the mustard yellow pants going on. There's an incomplete pass, a drop by Brian Edwards. We're going to settle for a field goal, 41 yards. Parker White just sneaks it in through the uprights. We go up 3-0 on them. We're really going to miss Brian Edwards next year. I know the guy had a lot of drops for us, especially 2 years ago, but he kind of cleaned his game up last year. Injuries hurt him a lot last year. They kick it off. Darionton Evans returns this kickoff almost to midfield. He was a good player for App State. They'll miss. Zach Thomas over the top hits the tight end, and they're down inside our 25-yard line. He points forward with a little gusto, like he knows they got this shit. Option pitch. Evans, first down, fighting. You know, a lot of people talked about our defense last year and how much better it improved, but you know, this game, I was kind of disappointed. That was just an example of App State wanting it more. Thomas rolls out. He fires one to the crowd there. We're still 5-14 in the first quarter. Their field goal kicker, 40-yarder, 1 yard shorter than Parker White's a while ago. He hits it. We're deadlocked at 3. Helinski once again over the middle of the big tight end. That's Kyle Markway, good player for us. Looking forward to is he going to be back? Yeah, he's back. Seeing him. There was the walk-on Joseph Atkins down the sideline to about the 15-yard line. Puts us in position here. When Helinski drops back, Brian Edwards with the big catch. We're inside their 10. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, we're going to kick a field goal here. Parker White again, 25 yards. A lot of missed red zone opportunities last year. You know, a lot of things that could have been converted into touchdowns instead of field goals or just misses altogether that would have turned the tide in a lot of ball games. Here's Evans running forward to about the 45. Well, I'm just going to call all their running backs Evans the rest of this game because they did have another one there, but I can't remember what his name was. They're firing down over the middle. Thomas back inside our territory at 6'3", Carolina right now. App State's on the move. Evans again down off the left side. He's down to about the 31 of the Gamecocks. We're 8:43 now in the second quarter. Thomas scrambles around, fires an incompletion there. They're inside our territory. A 47-yard field goal attempt, and their kicker absolutely nails the shit out of it. Straight down the middle. 6-6. Field goal kickers have really progressed over the years, man. I remember that hardly nobody could hit anything over a 45-yarder back in the day. Nowadays, it's a chip shot for some guys. We're still 6-6. Ryan Helinski drops back. Throw it. There we go. Interception at the 15-yard line. Kid heads down the left sideline, circles back inside for a pick-6 touchdown. A minute 50 left in the first half. And, man, if you go back and watch the replay of this, Ryan Helinski, the kid had some major happy feet last year. I mean, really bad. He played better than Jake Bentley did, Jake's freshman season, I feel like. But he got injured in that Alabama game, and he just never was the same, really, after that. He played well in spots, but I don't think that we've seen the best of him yet. There's an interception. Zach Thomas intercepted by Ernest Jones, another good player for us. Really one of the leaders on defense last year. Helinski calls for it. We're in about their 30-yard line. Brian Edwards, big grab again. He's drugged down, though. No gain. Still 13-6 App State right now. Brian hurt himself there a little, looked like. We're 11:15 in the third quarter now in the second half of action. Parker White nails a 50-yarder. 50-yard field goal by Parker White. So it's 13-9 App State at this point. We kick the ball off to them. Kicker of ours needs to, God, I can't remember our kickoff guy's name. Another kickoff return, number 11, goes all the way inside our 40-yard line. It's 13-9 Carolina, 10:54 in the third quarter right here, and he needs to get it in the damn end zone. I saw one of our kids transferred out, hit the transfer portal. That might have been his ass that kicked that thing. I don't think it was, though. Down left sideline, number 2 for App State. They're threatening again at second goal. Here we go. Thomas sneaks in for the touchdown. 20-9 now it will be App State. 7:10 left in the first quarter. Now we're down to a minute 40 in the third quarter, and you are losing at home by 11 points to a Sun Belt school. I don't care that it's App State. That is abysmal, and it's fucking sad. Brian Edwards with the first down pickup. Now we're into the fourth quarter. First play of the fourth quarter. Halitsky hits Dak Joyner. I really want to see this kid do some electric things from the wide receiver position this year. There, Brian Edwards gets interfered with by number 8 in the App State backfield. Looked like he shot him a bird there. Maybe he did. Maybe he was shooting at Will Muschamp. He needs a few shots at him. Halitsky back on fourth down. It was third down, actually. I'm sorry. And sacked by number 24, Davis Gaither for App State. Was a good player on their rush end, and just terrible, abysmal. And we're going to get down. We're down to 9:57 left in the game. It's 29 App State. And they could potentially go up here by 3 scores in this game, but that's not going to happen. We get the ball back. There's 4:42 left. Fires over the middle, Mark Way. First down, and we're fixing to get here inside App State territory. Number 17 on the reception. Not sure who that is. There's another one batted down. 3:27 left, and we're turning the ball over again, down 20-9 in this ball game. He had so many passes in this game, batted down. There's another one on a rope, fourth down, and 15 hits Brian Edwards just inside the first down marker. We still have life, 3:17 left. There we go again. Brian Edwards catches it at 20-yard line, down the left sideline and into the end zone for a touchdown. 20-15 Carolina, down by 5 points, and they missed the 2-point conversion. Half the stadium was empty, too, by this point. We stop App State on 3 tries inside their own 20-yard line. They're forced to punt the ball away to the Gamecocks. With a minute 51 left, we're in business at our own 45-yard line after the fair catch by Edwards. Here we go. Ryan Halitsky drops back, scrambles around, scramble, and he's going to hit that first down pass there. I think that was Dowdle. Down to the 30-yard line. There's 46 seconds left to play in this game. Hurry up. He drops back again. Halitsky looks. He's got Brian Edwards. Nope, that's Dowdle again. Sorry. Down to the 9-yard line. 11 seconds to go. I'm like, good morning, guys. God almighty. I was going nuts right here. I never really made a post-game video after this one. Right immediately after I was so upset. He spikes the ball there down with 9 seconds left. Now here we're going to get called for holding on this one from the 10-yard line. Really screws us up big time. We're taken back, I think, to the 25-yard line with 6 seconds left of the 20-yard line. Halitsky round there. He completes the pass to Brian Edwards, who is out of fucking bounds. They called a flag on that one, but it was a flag on us, and you're going to see the referee, the head one, come up here in a second and tell you that it was an offensive penalty. Number 3 there with a show of respect to Brian Edwards. Man, I'm going to miss that guy. And he will say it was an offensive penalty, waves it off, game over. And there comes Eli Drinkowitz looking like a campy schoolgirl running across the field with a big smile on his cheeser. As App State wins 2015, it says on there, first team in history to win 2 games versus Power 5 teams in a single season, defeating North Carolina September 21st. First Sun Belt team in history to do that. I know Troy has beaten some Power 5 teams in the past. Definitely in 2015 or 2016, I think it was. Should have beaten Clemson in Death Valley. Clemson got some home cooking there as far as the officiating goes to pull that game out against a really good Troy team. As far as Sun Belt teams go, Troy is the only one that I can think of outside App State that really can stand a shot at doing that. Louisiana Lafayette is a pretty good team, I think, but maybe not necessarily a good program. I think that Billy Napier, who's the coach at Louisiana Lafayette, is really just the one that's brought them a long way. I don't know that they're necessarily going to see the same success under someone else. I know that UL Monroe plays a lot of Power 5 teams in the Southeast Conference. It seems like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn, sometimes Georgia even, they pass them around like a cheap whore, and they get done like a cheap whore about every time they play one of these teams. But if they could ever get any good or halfway decent, maybe they could spring an upset somewhere. I don't know. But at any rate, that was the Gamecocks Week 11. And then you see the young lady with the pink stocking cap out here to interview the victorious head coach, which I expected to be Will Muschamp going into this game, and instead it is Eli Drinkowitz. This guy really parlayed a really good team and a lot of talent. I mean a lot of talent. Left over by the previous coach, Scott Satterfield, into a Power 5 head coaching position at Missouri. He's got to rebuild that program a little bit, but I feel like Missouri, and you guys can agree or disagree with me, I think that they're a sleeping giant. It's a team that, I mean, if they can recruit that Midwest and get the best players from the Midwest, maybe that 3-state area, like that Kansas area, pull in some guys from Illinois, pull some kids in from Indiana, maybe steal some kids from Arkansas, Kentucky, and that area, and just pull some guys in. I mean, they could develop themselves into a big-time player in the SEC East. No reason they couldn't. And I think this guy's got a positive attitude, and it remains to be seen, but all arrows point towards him doing well at our Missouri for the foreseeable future, until you prove me otherwise. So anyway, guys, that was the first edition of Retro Rewind. Too bad it didn't turn out better for the Gamecocks, but now at this point, it is what it is. We fall to 4-6 on the season, and bowl eligibility is it's still possible, but prior to this game, it was very possible. With a win here, we could have evened our record up at 5-5, and we had 2 shots to do it. Let's just be real. They weren't beating Clemson. It didn't matter if the game was in Columbia. It didn't matter if it was Clemson. It didn't matter if they played it in Orangeburg, South Carolina, Frankfort, Kentucky, or on the damn moon. We were not going to beat the Taters. Texas A&M, I feel like if South Carolina had won this game, that would have been a game that we would have competed in. Of course, it turned out to be ugly. The final score was very ugly, but it was deceiving also. South Carolina gave up 2 scores late in that game. It was a 1-possession ball game with 9 minutes left to go. So that would have been our best chance. It ended up at 6-6. But, it's ifs, ands, buts, and coconuts, guys. It was what it was. It was a 4-8 regular season, and it was god dang disappointing as hell. But at any rate, I hope y'all enjoyed the first edition of the Retro Rewind. We'll be going back and doing some others, maybe some older games, and maybe some that the Gamecocks actually win. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it, though. Spurs up to my toes up. Peace. I'm out. Love you guys. If you liked this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. I really don't give a shit. Any kind of interaction, No, excuse me. I got to rephrase that. Any kind of reaction means there was an interaction. And any kind of interaction is good for Carolina Jackpot. Hit the subscribe button. See y'all later. I appreciate you. Peace. And I'm out. Go Gamecocks. Woo! Fire boom.